Star Citizen Alpha 3.19 is now available to the Wave 2 PTU, and it's added a couple of really important additional features: the new player experience, some pretty big mining and balance and economy updates as well as a ton of new fixes for some bugs, some of which have plagued the game for a while, and now maybe no longer. So, Wave 2 PTU 3.19, who's got access then? So, in addition to the Evocati, RSI subs, and Concierge, a load of players that contribute to the Issue Council regularly and have very high playtime in the PTU also now have access. The next wave should be Open PTU, which will go out to everyone else, and that's probably going to be next week. Right, so Alpha 3.19 on the PTU. That's had some additions. Let's go over them. The new player experience, a tutorial in-game that lasts for around the first 30 minutes of the game, an initiative for improving the initial gameplay experience, which will help players understand the context of the world and introduce them to some of Star Citizen's basic features. So basically, it will go, when you spawn in the game, go, do you want to do the tutorial? And you can skip it, or you can do it. This update focuses on the experience in Area 18 and Bajani Point, so you'll have to spawn there to basically do that. As players enter the main menu to join the universe, they will be prompted to the option to join as normal or accept the new player experience chain, which will set their spawn at Area 18, beginning a walkthrough. The chain will also reward you a little Alpha UEC when you complete it, which is currently 15,000 Alpha UEC, but basically will take you from getting out of your bed to getting all the way to Bajani Point and putting away your ship, and teaches you about the basic mechanics in game, interaction, eating and drinking. My only issue with the tutorial is that if there are bugs in it, how would a new player know that it's a bug and how to get around the bug? So if you're like stuck in your bed when you spawn, or you're not actually in your bed properly, there might be some odd bugs that then sort of break the tutorial, and then a new player is going to have a terrible experience because of that. Also, the tutorial locks you into a few things which aren't ideal. There's a couple of location updates. There's been a Lorville level of detail, collision and lighting polish pass, and Arc Corps had its atmosphere and planetary metallic gloss polish pass. We've had a mining balance pass as well. So with Alpha 3.19 comes updates to both ship and FPS mining, with wide sweeping balance changes to sell prices, refining effectiveness and costs, component stats, multi-crew mining efficiency, mineable difficulties and masses with larger asteroids, resource distribution, as well as addition of new minables. The goal in 3.19 is to make multi-crew mining more attractive and even out all materials to make them more lucrative instead of just a select few. Ship mining. Resource distribution has updated to reflect a more distinct distribution of materials and minerals throughout Stanton, which means that several locations per planet and moon now hold exclusive resources rather than full random resources. Additionally, we defined so-called standard resources that are a given in each mineable you encounter. The rest of the elements have chances to appear in those rocks. The updated resource distribution is also reflected in the trading availability and refining capabilities. Every mining gadget, head, and sub-item has had a full balance pass for stats, cost, and efficiencies. Every item that is connected to mining gameplay loop was also updated to target specific resources to be mined better or worse, depending on the setup of your mining head. Multi-crew mining has also been balanced, with the mole getting a buff on instability if the same lasers are fired at the same rock. So multi-crew mining, very, very beneficial if you want to be able to mine the same rock effectively. While the prospector will get a punishment for multiple prospectors firing at the same rock on instability. Basically, they're not sinking their lasers when they're firing, but the mole would be because it's the same ship firing at it. So there's a mining item rework, so you can now detach and attach mining modules, heads, and sub-items with the tractor beam. So you can also, suppose, take those around and sell them as well as part of salvage. Mining heads now have a min-max laser power. Mining heads have different laser power per size and different extraction speeds. There's also a difference between size 1 and size 2. Mining heads have different ideal distances. They've updated resistant values for all mining items and updated instability mitigating values for all mining items. They've unified properties for all mining modules and mining gadgets, buffed active modules drastically. They've also made it that elements cluster together. If you split a rock, it increases the chance that elements are together in one rock of the broken pieces. There's filtering on some items that removes the inert materials from the rocks that you're collecting. Sub-item slots on mining heads are different between size 1 and size 2. Resistance reduction is now multiplicative, and they've made instability updates. There's also been a UI update for this. This gives you a difficulty forecast that tells you how easy it is to break the rock that you're facing. They've reordered some of the UI elements. The details of the mining items that you currently have equipped is shown, and your current cargo. There's clearer scanner displays and clearer explanation of what is happening during scanning. For FPS mining, a new mineable is introduced that is only available in new cave systems, Janalite, and this has a high value to encourage players to go mining with their FPS tools outside of prison, and when they're just near a new cave system, I suppose. There's been some resource refining and pricing updates. So resource prices and demands at the TDDs have been changed and updated. The further away from the standard material, the more profit that you'll get. They've updated the refinery yields and times for certain materials to encourage longer distances to travel for the best money per hour. So that should make it much more sensible for you to take one material that you've got from one side of Stanton to the other side of Stanton to make the most money. So mineable mineral types and rarities have been updated. Standard, that's the base resource of a mineable, always part of any rock like iron. You'll have then types of material rarity that can be part of that rock as well. So common ones like beryl, uncommon ones like gold, rare ones like quantanium. You'll have dedicated locations for particular types of resource as well for the standard ones. So the moon aerial will have iron and quartz around it. So they've also updated the properties for resources. So each resource will affect the property of the rock based on the amount of that resource it contains, and then all the different resources will make up what resources it has in it, and the mass of the rock, and affect its size as well. And there's a lot more variant on the sizes and masses of rocks. You might find small rocks that don't actually need breaking at all, to massive rocks that require multiple players. So yeah, there's lots of different types of rock, a lot more types of rock diversity, as it were, but also there's some areas that only certain materials will spawn in, and much more likely for other associated materials to spawn within those rocks themselves. They've temporarily removed diamonds, though, in this patch, so bear that in mind if you're looking for diamond for any reason. I've not got on my head fully around the mining update yet. I need to play it a bit and see what happens, and then we'll talk about that in a dedicated video in a bit more detail, actually, a bit more hands-on. The known issue list is really short now for the patch. That's not saying that they're the only issues, and that doesn't need more work on playability, stability, and sort of accessibility, but they've actually addressed a lot of major issues already. Cloud Imperium are going to be trying to deal with more. I think there's only 9 known issues left, and only a few of them actually really major. Bug fixes. So let's take a look at what's fixed. Players were able to attach components and weapons to locked item ports. Salvage sub-items were not attachable and detachable, but now they are. They fixed some problems with shattered FPS and large FPS deposits failing to spawn gem shards when they exploded. They fixed a collision wall in the Anvil Centurion, blocking players from removing internal components. Harvestables. Some of those deposits were invisible to players and also would cause issues for players trying to get through them, or issues with sort of scanning and mining and salvage gameplay. They fixed some issues with salvaging nose weapons and removing nose weapons, causing the ship or weapons to disappear. The Aegis Saber, some of its components require the player to look at a specific corner of the component to grab it. That's been fixed. Reclaimer PvP Ghost Hollow mission, no AI reinforcements were spawning there. Now that's fixed. I don't believe infinite sort of Cutlass Blacks are spawning anymore either. Various screens around Grimhex landing zone were blank. They fixed when flying near another ship, you were hitting invisible boxes, or the sort of weird desync issues that we're having close to ships. They seem to be relatively solved now. Players were able to reattach weapons to hardpoints with 0 health, allowing them to become immune to damage and then still fire. Again, that's been solved, and they also have additionally fixed 4 client and 3 server crashes. So the known issues list, as I said, is only about 9 issues now. Players can get a wait for player spawn connection timeout error in Arena Commander. The Reclaimer has no rear elevator interaction from the ship exterior, and the main on-elevator control panels do not respond to input. Not a great time to use the reclaimer, unfortunately. The Argo Mole, the interaction prompts for mining turrets are easy to miss because they're in weird locations. The hover quad spawns slightly stuck in the ground. The mining UI is appearing sometimes in low resolution, which I suppose could be pretty annoying if you want to try out the new mining updates. The RSI Constellation Sniper Fighter lacks interaction prompts to enter it. Trams at City are out of sync with station timers, causing trains to overlap or not appear on time. This is something I do want them to get fixed ASAP. Store kiosks won't populate locations if certain ships are stored. Again, that's annoying. The salvage attachment has the VFX of the tractor beam and does not function. So the salvage attachment on the multi-tool is not working sometimes. Security Post Correa, contraband screens have a viz area issue there, and Wallace Klim becomes stuck under the floor near the hangars after being streamed out and streamed back in. So yeah, Alpha 3.19 on the second wave PTU, pretty solid patch there so far. I'm going to be playing it over the weekend, and I suspect we'll see a few more updates and bug fixes to that before it goes to Open PTU and then live. But Cloud Imperium are moving at a oddly fast pace compared to what was going on with Alpha 3.18. It might be because they went, look, let's just get it all solved in 3.19. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the patch. I'm enjoying the PTU at the moment. There's still fixes and things to be done, and they can always improve performance and accessibility, playability, stability, all that sort of jazz. Because Cloud Imperium need to knock it out of the park with Fleet Week this time. They need to have a load of eyes on Star Citizen. They want to make a load of money, and they need all the eyes and the people playing Star Citizen, especially for the first time, to have a great experience. And the game can do that if they get it in a good state. Because there's quite a lot of cool stuff for Fleet Week going on that they can do. And 3.19, yeah, it's got a load of little extra bits which actually amount to a pretty good amount of new gameplay. And then when you sort of add that to 3.18's gameplay, which has been largely inaccessible to a lot of people just because of all the problems 3.18's had, then you've actually got quite a lot going on with Star Citizen now. But I'm really interested to know what you think. Have you been playing in 3.19 either in the first wave or second wave of the PTU? What do you think of that? Are you looking forward to it going to Open PTU, going to sort of live? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day, but give him a NordVPN subscription using nordvpn.com/BoredGamer or the links below, and he'll browse the internet more safely and with greater accessibility for a lifetime, or at least until his subscription ends. He can then shop for his own fish from places like Tesco's, Walmart, or Asda or something. It also makes a fantastic gift. Next time you go to a dinner party or a wedding, bring them a NordVPN subscription. Bam! You'll be the talk of the town, and it's certainly better than bringing a fish. Please remember to like and subscribe, and if you'd like to go further to support the channel, then use that join button under my videos or the Patreon links below. That would be amazing. It goes a long way to helping Zin and I be able to create daily videos, and you'll get some exclusive perks, including some videos, posts, and polls to help guide the channel. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For May, it's for an Origin 400i, the luxury exploration touring ship capable of taking 3 crew to distant stars. It also comes with lifetime insurance and a Star Citizen game package. To be in for a chance of winning that, just comment on any of my videos made during the month. More details down below. Thanks very much for watching. I hope to see you in the verse.